Cal, I was just wondering if you can kind of run through that fourth quarter for us and just how you kind of got some momentum going and really got a rhythm there.
Yeah, I felt like we had control most of the game, offensively and defensively. Just had some good looks in transition, and just wanted to make them play on their heels a little bit in the second half. Jalen Brunson came out very aggressive in that third quarter, so it paced them a little bit. But once we got in that fourth quarter, we started out on like a 6-0 run or 8-0 run. I knew we had some good momentum. We just had to keep it up. So I was just doing the little things, just trying to pace us, make some timely shots, a few in and outs that I felt were supposed to go down, but they didn't. But we got stops, timely stops, and kept them off the free throw line a little bit in that fourth quarter and made it tough in the half court.
Kyrie, would you make of the offensive play in general? I mean, I think it was 30 assists on 45 or in change around that, and then the ball movement was good, the scoring seemed balanced. Even before you took over in the fourth quarter, what would you make of the way you guys were playing as a unit in general?
Yeah, in the team atmosphere, when everyone's collectively firing, it's a beautiful game to watch, and it's a beautiful game to be a part of. So I didn't want to cut into the rhythm. I just wanted to make timely shots, but my teammates did a great job of getting to the spots, getting to corners, spacing out, and just making the game a lot easier for me. You know, didn't want to put too much pressure on myself going to the fourth quarter and just play off the rhythm and flow of the game.
Any heads up Coach K was coming today?
Yeah, I had a heads up. Of course, man.
Harry, is there any special pride when you have a game like this and you win this game, knowing what it means to Nets fans to beat the Knicks, and you know you made it happen basically in that fourth quarter? The game was getting close. And
yeah, I mean, if you look at our games or the games that I played in, or K's played in, majority of those have been uphill battles or have been back and forth type of possession games, and we're either up 10 or they're up 10 and it's a comeback. So we just wanted to take control of the rhythm and flow of the game. We know they were coming off a big win against Boston, so there's a lot of confidence that I felt like they were feeling, and we just wanted to make it tough in the half court. Felt like we were very physical. The rest were letting us play tonight, and we were just using that to our advantage in the second half, felt like.
Twofold, Guy, though. Even though the games have been tough or back and forth when you've played them, unless I'm mistaken, you haven't lost a game to them since you've been here. I mean, the Nets have lost, but I think you missed 2 games your first year. Is this still a rivalry if it's that one-sided?
If the NBA calls it rivalry week, then it's a rivalry. So I'm cool with that. I mean, I think it makes it great for marketing, makes it great for us as competitors coming in. But all in all, it's a different feeling for me because I grew up in New York and New Jersey. So I've watched plenty series, being down in my den at my best friend's house, watching the game with his father, or watching the game with my father, and just admiring the guys playing on Madison Square Garden and the Continental Airlines Arena. So for me, I love beating the Knicks and playing against them. But all in all, it's just about the objective, and that's to win the ball game, nothing personal.
You talked about not putting too much pressure on yourself in the fourth quarter. I think this is your fourth 20-point fourth quarter of the season. Feels like all of them since that night in Phoenix. Yeah. What have you found that has worked so well in the fourth quarter? Is it as simple as, I mean, they're putting shooters around you and letting you cook, but in your mind, what has worked so well and you found in that fourth quarter?
I think what's worked so well is we're playing well off each other, and I don't think we lose our focus when we're down by a certain amount of points or a certain amount of possessions. I think we've seen a lot over the last few games, wins and losses that we can learn from. So just taking those lessons and really taking advantage of the time we can prepare and then going out and executing. As cliche as that sounds, it's a lot harder doing it as a professional, especially back-to-back or 3 games in 4 days. But this is what comes with it, and this is what I love to do. And preparing at a very high level and learning from game to game and watching film is just as important as working on your skill set on the court. So the guys are really keeping up with the pace that JV's putting together of us coming in, watching film, and just playing the game at a very high level.
Perry, you've said repeatedly you're one of several leaders on the team. Having said that, late in games, it's very obvious that guys are looking for you, and they trust you to either make the shot or make the right pass. Mm-hmm. How much pride do you take in that part of the leadership for the group?
I take a lot of pride in just the way I approach my days with my teammates, with organization, of course with my family. But the way I approach this is really giving me the success this season. not being too high or too low, just being even keeled and just enjoying the journey itself. You know, the wins and losses are come and go, but the emotional maturity that you can learn from performances game to game is just as important as, you know, taking care of your body mentally and spiritually. So just the little things I'm paying attention to and just making sure I'm servicing my teammates selflessly. And, you know, I feel like that'll lead us to success later on in the season. But these are great challenges for us to collectively come together as a group a lot more. So feels good.
Kyrie, I've heard you talk in the past about being a Jersey guy. You touched on it briefly before, but just I think it was on Katie's podcast a while back. You talked about just going into New York I think it was on the AAU circuit, just the pride you took and, you know, going in there and being that guy who could win in those environments. Do you think that's something that's carried over to this matchup for you?
Yeah, I mean, when I say I've grown up in New York and New Jersey, specifically in the Bronx and Harlem, New York, my roots come from there. And then I moved to Jersey when I was about 8 or 9 or 7, 8. And I became a Jersey kid to the New York culture that I grew up in, or the community, my family. I became the Jersey kid. There's a Jersey kid. There's a Jersey kid coming over to the Gaucho gym or coming to play against Riverside Church. So I could go on and on about the stories, but I'm just grateful for all the friends and family I made along the way in the AAU journey. It used to be so competitive. I don't think it's as competitive now just because of the highlight culture, but you know, the respect that you had to earn going from Brooklyn to Staten Island to Long Island to New Jersey or to Connecticut or to Delaware, you know, you wanted to conquer all these states and you wanted to be number one. So for me, it was a goal of mine where I wanted to represent the East Coast and then be one of the best in the world. So I got to accomplish those goals, but I got my hard-nosed toughness from growing up in those streets in the Bronx and with my dad and, you know, having me play anybody and everybody, no matter the age. And it helped my game mature a lot quicker than my age group because I was going against older guys. So New York, New Jersey area produces a lot of great artists, and I'm just one of them. And I'm just making sure I'm paying homage to them by leading this game the right way. Yeah, gotcha.